New images of Sonic 3 have been revealed. Shadow seeks revenge? In this video, we will be talking in detail about these images and what we could expect in Sonic 3. And for more videos of your favorite series and movies, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Welcome to the Oasis Geek. Shadow's story is one of betrayal and sadness, one of disappointment with humanity and an attempt at revenge. It is the story of an experiment that got out of the hands of its creators, and now must be stopped to avoid the destruction of the universe. Perhaps the secret of this film lies in these newly revealed images. The Chao are fascinating creatures within the universe of Sonic the Hedgehog that you can breed and customize according to your preferences. If you start interacting with them, you will discover that they inhabit areas called Chao Gardens, safe spaces full of nature, where you can take care of them and watch them grow and develop. They originally debuted in the game Sonic Adventure for the Sega Dreamcast console in 1998, where they appeared as small creatures with a rounded appearance, big eyes and bodies that can change color according to their abilities and upbringing. We can say that these creatures in the games are a type of pet, and these garden restaurants are recreational places. Now, why is Sonic with his friends in this place? When I mention that the Chao are mystical, it's not just symbolically. Some are believed to have supernatural abilities and can grant us certain advantages in the world. There are rare Chao, like the Shine, who tend to take attitudes according to their upbringing, becoming heroes or dark. And this could be one of the reasons why they are in this place. Possibly Sonic and his friends are in this garden looking for a special Chao that will help them fight Shadow. But we'll talk about that later. Professor Robotnik's story often varies in the games and series, but it is generally connected to Shadow's, as he was the scientist in charge of creating Project Shadow, a project that sought immortality, which the professor accepted in an attempt to save the life of his granddaughter Maria. This means that while his grandson was fighting Sonic and causing trouble in the occult, his grandfather was working to create this weapon. We can see that this scene looks like an old laboratory, and it is possible that this is the place where the professor created Shadow, as we saw an image of Shadow alongside the Robotnik. This image shows us that although Shadow at first will be a threat to the young Robotnik, when he understands that it was a weapon created by his grandfather, he will use it to confront Sonic, and I believe that the ultimate goal of the two Robotnik is to control the universe using the power of Shadow, and perhaps some special version of the Chao. The next image revealed is one of Shadow in the rain. We can see that his face shows anger or disappointment, and as it happens in the rain, it surely is an emotional scene. Perhaps this image shows the moment when Shadow escapes from the laboratory for the first time. But who is Shadow really, and what will be his role in the Sonic universe? Shadow's story began very similar to Sonic's, but where Sonic found family and friends, Shadow found only suffering and loss. In the original Sonic lore, Shadow's origin begins many years ago, being, as I mentioned, the result of an experiment. The goal of the project was to create the ultimate life form as a weapon for the United Federation. Though Gerald planned to use the results of the project to find a cure for his dying granddaughter, Maria. The name Shadow was chosen for two reasons. One was an irony that a shadow cannot be created, that immortality was impossible and serves as a metaphor for unreal things, while the other came from Maria, who said that shadows could teach people the way to the light. However, the government realized that they were putting too much power in the hands of an unhinged man like Robotnik, and ordered the project to be shut down. But it was too late. Shadow's creation had already begun. Gerald was captured, and all the researchers involved in Project Shadow were killed, as well as Maria, who asked Shadow to give all the people of Earth a chance to be happy and to protect them, just before activating the escape capsule where Shadow was helplessly ejected to Earth. Shadow's capsule was recovered by the gun and was placed in suspended animation on Prison Island. where Gerald was forced to continue his research under government supervision. But Robotnik's revenge was just beginning, or so it seems to suggest in these images. But what is Shadow's real purpose? Is he really a villain? Shadow is the result of an experiment and brainwashing by the Robotniks, who manipulated him for their own interests. Although he initially comes across as an antagonist, it is likely that he will eventually join Sonic's side, or at least understand that Robotnik only wishes to use him to fulfill his dark plans. Shadow has impressive power. He can control space and time with the Chaos Emeralds, and his speed is capable of matching Sonic's. However, from his perspective, humans are evil beings who created him only to destroy him later.
Shadow, please promise me that you'll help people.
Although the Sonic universe is usually focused on the story of the Blue Hedgehog, the reality is that the backbone of this story is the Robotnik family, with Gerald Robotnik being the basis for the research of the Chaos Emeralds. In previous videos, we have mentioned that although in the comics and animated series, Sonic and Shadow do not share a common parentage, it is possible that in these movies, it will be revealed that both are the results of the same experiment. Sonic's origin could also be Project Shadow, something that would be a story twist that would surprise all fans of the Sonic universe. However, this opens up the possibility that we may see similar traits to what we've seen of Sonic and Shadow, such as an alternate version of Super Sonic, a Super Shadow. And we don't have to go that far to imagine it, as Super Shadow is a real thing in video games. When Shadow manages to collect the 7 Chaos Emeralds, he becomes Super Shadow, where he can access unlimited energy in the universe and is able to control space-time. Like Super Shadow, his speed and agility soar to incredible levels. He can move at speeds close to the speed of light, matching Super Sonic. In addition, he can fly without the need for any device and virtually nothing can hurt him, because he becomes almost invulnerable. His chaos powers are also greatly enhanced. He can use chaos control to do amazing things, such as teleport giant objects or freeze time. The difference between Shadow and Super Shadow is huge. When he becomes Super Shadow, he becomes an almost unstoppable force. We have previously seen Super Sonic, and it is possible that he may try this transformation to defeat Shadow, as at first, Shadow would be too powerful. But Shadow could transform into Super Shadow and defeat Sonic. It would be the first time Sonic is defeated by an opponent much more powerful than him, and who uses similar abilities. But what does this mean? Will we see Sonic's defeat in Sonic 3? Although at first I think we will see a fight between Sonic and Shadow, and it is possible that Super Shadow easily defeats Sonic. I think there is a greater threat in the universe. And it is also possible that the planet Earth at the end of the movie will be in danger. No doubt seeing a dark hedgehog being transformed with the Chaos Emeralds would leave Sonic deeply shocked. He's always thought he was special, but maybe he's just the result of an experiment. Perhaps this movie will focus more on Shadow than Sonic's origin. During Project Shadow, Maria, Robotnik's granddaughter, used to talk to Shadow about the world. She asked him to become a protector of humans, but the humans attacked the facility where Shadow was, and Shadow forgot his promises to Maria. When Shadow wakes up, he wants revenge, but he will remember Maria's words and become a hero. And I think this is where we will see the union of Super Shadow and Super Sonic, as happened in Sonic Adventure. I think both characters will have to team up to save the world from the destruction that is coming. Will we see Super Eggman in Sonic 3? Knowing Maria's story, we might begin to wonder, who is really the villain in this story? The Robotnik family? A family of scientists who only followed orders? Or will it be the Blue Hedgehog who supports the government that ended Maria's life? Perhaps these are questions Sonic will have to face in this movie. However, the fact that Super Sonic exists in this universe, and that Project Shadow is revealed in this film, points to the fact that other experiments could also be possible. Project Shadow, in essence, was Gerald Robotnik's attempt to make this alien technology compatible with humans. It was an attempt to transfer the power of the Chaos Emeralds, or at least replicate them, to save Maria. Therefore, this project becomes the gateway that his grandson Eggman needs to acquire power. And this is where the theory of Super Eggman comes in. But what exactly is Super Eggman? Super Eggman is the most powerful version of Robotnik, in which he manages to replicate the power of Supersonic through technology and manipulation of the Phantom Ruby, an artifact capable of altering reality. In this form, Eggman not only obtains extraordinary physical strength and speed, but can also use abilities similar to those of the Chaos Emeralds, such as generating energy explosions and manipulating the space around him. This concept was introduced in 2023 in an official Sega comic book, where it is revealed that Eggman, after years of studying the Chaos Emeralds and experimenting with the Phantom Ruby, manages to create the Phantom Ruby prototype. This artifact allows him to channel his energy directly into his own body, transforming him into a human version capable of rivaling Supersonic and Super Shadow. While this is not a common version, and is generally considered a parody, it could be a version that we see in the movies, and that could explain how Eggman could become a multiversal villain in Sonic. With the introduction of Shadow and other elements in the Sonic universe, Eggman's role seems to be increasingly diluted, losing importance in terms of power. But we know that the story of these movies revolves around this family and their experiments. So there is still room for Eggman to have a more relevant role, as long as he somehow manages to obtain supernatural powers. I think the reason why we will see the story of his grandfather Gerald Robotnik and that of Shadow is not only to explain the origin of this new antagonist. Rather, it could be the starting point for something much bigger: the emergence of a Super Eggman, capable of using prototypes of the Chaos Emeralds to become a threat capable of destroying the universe. And in the end, we would have Supersonic and Super Shadow teaming up to confront him. Eggman, since the first Sonic movie, has become a key part of this universe. Giving him powers that make him a real threat to Sonic and Shadow could make the story that much more exciting. This would not only increase the challenge, but also add more seriousness to the universe. But tell me, what do you think about all this? Will we see Super Eggman in the movies? Or do you think this will be the last movie of Eggman, concluding the story of the Robotnik family, and then showing us the origins of this universe and other creatures or entities? Share your opinion in the comments. And for more videos of the Sonic universe and theories of Sonic 3, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You are on Oasis Geek.